Yo, we are back. Ball Central Podcast. It's me and long time awaited guest, Mr. 8ighth. How you doing, Mr. Walid, aka 8ighth?
Pretty good. Just living a dream. Living a dream.
Gotcha. Anything else? Anything to catch up on since you've been on last?
I'm depressed.
Oh, that's both of us. Well, something we have in common. Yeah.
Mostly because of life. A little bit because of the Lakers, but mostly because of life.
I mean, that's the opposite for me. It's the Lakers, so it works out, I guess.
Mm.
Celtics, Lakers. But hey, let's see. The guys couldn't make it to the first episode, so we decided to split our NBA and NFL segment into two. So me and Wally will take care of the NBA episode, and then later on, to probably upload around Friday the NFL segment with me, John, and Akeem. So we're gonna talk some NBA. First things we want to do talk about is we've had a crazy year. It's going so far. We've seen 40, 50 point games left and right. Do you think something special is going on in the NBA, or everyone just gave up on defense apparently this year?
I mean, the primary form of scoring is the three ball. We've transitioned to, well, ironically, we've transitioned to a transition game that focuses on 3 point shots. Like, if you see how often the three-man break, how much like the three-man weave has been discarded, and now it's more of a corner three or right wing three, left wing three. And don't get me wrong, shooting has got to an elite point that, it's not bad shots, but it's just kind of eliminated, not fully eliminated, but it's lessened the need to go for 2 point shots and mid ranges. And yeah, there's still players like DeRozan and Katie that keep it alive, but it's always going to be, especially with Curry still being a huge forefront of the NBA, if not the face of the NBA over LeBron. You could argue either one. It's always going to be a 3 point oriented league for the near future. So it's going to be pretty big for a while. And let alone the defenses have kind of just stagnated.
I've seen a
There's
lot of defensive highlights at all.
there's not much there's not much you could do. I mean, the skill sets have gotten a lot higher, but there's also been less. There's not like a high volume of great perimeter defenders that have really been locking down the 3 point shot. But that's just my personal opinion. I'm more of like I'm not an everyday watcher. So as a borderline casual fan, it's only in my I can only say so much on this kind of topic, but from what I see, it just seems like perimeter defense isn't really a focal point, and defense is kind of falling off from where I feel like it used to be.
Right. I mean, the Family Guy episode, I think it popped up on TikTok. I saw it. Family Guy predicted the corner three was going to be hot when Peter Griffin and Cleveland Brown was playing that game, and the little trick shot was corner three and win it almost every single time. I mean, hey, if everyone could shoot a three pretty much in like all positions. Like we didn't see that like during Kobe and LeBron, Kobe slash LeBron era, where only like the first three point guard, shooting guard, small forward can shoot threes. Embiid can shoot threes. Sengun, a lot of people who's been hyped up about him recently, he can shoot threes. So does everyone in every position can shoot threes. So obviously we're gonna see a lot more of it. So very interesting. I think Tatum scored 51 at the last. I think it was what Sunday or so. And I think people are starting to get lazy with the defense, especially with everything so fast paced nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
And did you see Austin Rivers' video? It's like spreading around social media that the NBA is turning into they're forgetting about fundamentals. It's more like trying to get a highlight here and there.
Mm-hmm.
I think just to paraphrase it, like the players are more looking to get like that one play that blows up instead of like actually playing the game and caring about fundamentals.
Yeah, I agree.
Yes, you do too. Especially with crazy dunks, ankle breakers, things you see like in what's called the younger leagues, especially AAU and et cetera, et cetera. We see in kids being disrespectful, trying to showing off Julian Newman handles, which Julian Newman's down so bad right now. He's playing against YouTubers, not even actual basketball players. He's in this
Mm.
creator league with a bunch of YouTubers. He's not even playing against like almost like real ballers, but some of the YouTubers are real ballers. So it's
Mm.
been downhill for Julian Newman. But hey, it's uh, a lot of flash. not enough like substance as we've seen. Hey, I mean, doesn't mean we sound like old heads. I mean, hey, but I mean, TikTok, Twitter, those are pretty much the go-tos for seeing a highlight, and we've seen a lot of those this whole season.
Yeah.
Also, recently the Lakers, LeBron James has reached 38K in points, I believe, in regular season, not long ago, maybe like last week or a couple days ago. There's only one person remaining ahead of him, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and he gets the all-time record. How with the rate with Anthony Davis out and him being like only reliable option besides Westbrook and maybe one other person on the Lakers, how fast do you think he could break this record?
I don't know about how fast because he's not really concerned about it. And I feel like people think he's not being genuine with that answer, but I don't think he really cares as much as people think he does about breaking that record because he knows he's going to do it.
He wants
It's
to
not
win,
like
yeah.
but he just wants to win at this point. I wouldn't be surprised if some big trades come up right before the deadline. Um, when is the deadline actually? Did it pass already?
No, I think it's about a month or two, maybe. I know it's a little bit close to All Star Weekend, so about maybe a month and some change.
I expect some big trades to happen. I don't think everybody wants Russ to be traded. It doesn't really make any sense at this point.
No, he's the leader.
It makes sense in the in the grand scheme of things to free up some space and free up some cap space, but I don't think that with the production he's given on both offense and defense that it logistically makes sense. Like unless you can find somebody else who can really run that bench the same way he does, but he's feeding people. He's the reason why Thomas Bryant got minutes, right? Obviously, Thomas Bryant is a talented player that obviously put his work in, but Russ was feeding him all game. When AD had those big games, Russ is feeding him all game, right? You know, like Russ is not the best shooter, but he's dishing the ball out. He's pushing the pace. You know, he's putting his work out, and he's improved his defense a lot this year. So it's just like I don't
Right.
know what else he would want to. I don't see how he doesn't win Six Man of the Year. I don't think it's even close.
I mean, Brogdon might give him a run for his
It's
money.
not even close. It's not even. No disrespect. I love Brogdon.
He got the 30 balls the other day,
What's the 30 ball have to do with being Six Man of the Year?
scoring off the bench.
So
I mean, he doesn't provide anything else
I
much.
can
Maybe
name other bench. Well, I
eight.
can't name off the top of my head, maybe. So let me not say that. That had 30 balls, and they're not going to be considered. And you know, like this random bench players that will randomly get a 30 ball, right? If you get going, you get going.
Yeah, I mean,
Didn't Troy Daniels, the junior, not the other day. That was a while ago. He had like a.
I'm about to say I do think Westbrook is in the lead for a six man, but I do think if there had to be a second, it would be Malcolm Brogdon.
The only reason he would win it is because the Celtics are doing better. But I think it's mostly because of Tatum and Jalen Brown. And
Yeah,
obviously the team's well rounded, but I don't think they're gonna give it to Malcolm Brogdon.
that's true. Yeah, I do think Russ deserves it because after going from switching roles and stuff like that. Plus, I don't think Jordan Poole deserves it just because he's playing bench and starter minutes. Because with the injuries to the Warriors, he's being forced to play starter. So you can't give a
Yeah.
starter the Six Man of the Year award. So yeah, but I do believe that's Westbrook. Yep. But with going back to LeBron, yeah, it's going to be tough for him the next couple months. I don't know how long AD's out, maybe a couple more weeks, but last night he dropped a 40-point almost triple double. I think it was like 48 and 9. If he has to continue to do games like that just for the Lakers to be in it, and that was against the Houston Rockets, one of like the lower teams in the league. Who knows what wear and tear he's going to have on his body because we know the Lakers are trying their best to make play-ins or playoffs. So if LeBron does that year in, year out, he's not the player. He's not the 24 or 25-year-old that played in Cleveland and Miami anymore.
I mean, they could box.
Care.
They were boxing with the Philadelphia 76ers. They should have won the game. But
Yeah, I was gonna ask you about that. You saw the whole foul call on that didn't get called, and Embiid grabbing Westbrook's arm.
I understand like a non-called foul. But that was a hold. He was literally holding his arm.
Yeah, because like during game view, like when actually watching the game, I didn't think it was a foul, but I saw it online. Like they closed up the image, and the ref was like dead looking at it. Embiid like literally grabbing his wrist like this. Yeah, that should have been called. And then he did the league to minute review, where like a report that drops every game, like to say what happens at the end of the game or like the last 2 minutes that the league does, just to make sure officiating does its job. They admit I think they admit it was a foul on Embiid's part, and they should have called it. So very very drastic. But hey, I mean, hoping the Lakers do well, but not too well, just because they're the Lakers. But hey, it is what it is. And then we are about what 40 plus games into NBA season. We're close to All Star break. All Star break is I think the middle of February.
Mhm.
So we're gonna go to a little bit of an assessment of how the season's going. Let's see. Do you have a surprise team right now? Someone that you didn't expect to do this well so far in the season?
Kings are up there. Kings are better like regular records than the Lakers.
I
Kings.
said that in our episode when you came back. Remember, like a while ago, everyone said I was bugging.
I want to say the Knicks, but I also been a big Jalen Brunson believer since before he fully got onto the team, and I said he was going to bring some good minutes. And yeah, he's doing this thing, so I don't want to hear nothing.
I must say, yeah,
Um,
him and Randall, they're doing well.
there's a lot of teams. I'm just trying to think off the top of my head without looking. I mean, remember the Jazz had like a little spurt, but it didn't
They're
last as
they're,
long
they're
as
the
I
eighth seed
thought.
currently, so
But there's some like the Cavs are doing their thing too. But there's some sleeper teams out there you can't just sniff at no more. It's pretty interesting.
right. For me, one of them is probably the Nets. I mean, yes, they have Kyrie and KD, but everyone thought this whole team was going to implode mid-season just because of all the drama in the offseason and what went through with the whole Kyrie situation and Steve Nash being fired. But they bounced back very nicely. Jock Vaughn has done a very good job holding this team together. It's sad to see KD get hurt like mid-season, but before the injury, the Nets were looking like a very good team in the East, even though a lot of people were counting them out because of all the drama they went through.
They were the
Third
best team in the
offseason.
East for that stretch of games. They were like 17-2.
Yeah, I think they lost to like the Bulls and someone else, but very good stretch. But hey, that I mean, because I thought they were going to implode as well, just because of all the drama they had over the offseason.
Yeah,
So, a team you're disappointed in this year so far.
the Heat. I thought they'd be doing a lot better than they're doing right now, in all honesty. But I also know that Jimmy Butler's playoff Jimmy, like one of the best playoff players I've had the privilege of being able to watch. And I'm not even like a huge Jimmy Butler fan or a huge Miami Heat fan. It's just he turns the Jets on. Like there's few players that really turn it up to another level during the playoffs. Like there's players who are always at that level, like throughout the season, obviously. And there's players who just when the playoffs come, you know they're coming, right? Jimmy Butler's one of them. LeBron's another. Like when you consider like I want to say Giannis, but Giannis always puts in like his full effort at all times. So I can't
Right.
really like use that excuse. And there's obviously plenty more, right? I just can't list them off the top of my head because
James
there's
Harden.
certain players.
Yeah.
I think he gets a little bit more criticism than he deserves. I think he is a pretty decent playoff player. Actually, at least maybe people undermine his ability to box with the Warriors at that time because they were the only team really giving the Warriors work besides the Cavs, really. So
Right.
I do think he gets a little bit too much criticism, but I do like James Harden a lot. So uh, I do know he tends to disappear sometimes during the playoffs, but it happens to the best of us.
Right.
He has a chance to change it around this year. So we'll see
Hopefully
what
they do
happens.
well.
I'm a
Yes,
Tyrese Maxey fan. That's the only reason. I'm a huge Tyrese Maxey fan, man.
he's officially back, so hey, maybe they make some noise.
Love
Um,
Tyrese.
for me, I got two answers for this one. One of them is the Atlanta Hawks. Um, everyone was raving over the signage with Dejounte Murray, including myself. I thought it was going to bring him to the next level. The defense is going to improve with him being there. But as of right now, I think they're sitting what eighth, ninth, or 10th in the league. Capello's been hurt, but there hasn't been anything like to wow people from the Hawks, whether it's play from Trey or Dejounte. It just hasn't been there this season. They haven't been really consistent with winning games and stuff like that. So, I mean, I I mean, yes, it's early in the season, but as of right now, people were expecting a lot more from the Hawks. I was expecting them to be a top five team in the East, but they're like near play-in team, so very disappointing. And another one, the Phoenix Suns. Uh, they were coming off of Luca taking their soul last year, and now Cameron Johnson's out for the year. Devin Booker's been hurt here and there. Aiton as well, and Chris Paul. There's a lot of inconsistency, and plus, it feels like I don't think that they're going to be like taken seriously anymore. Just off of, I think. Do you feel like a lot of people hate the Suns or no? Just how the way they act sometimes. Like they're a villain.
I mean, they kind of written their own villain story. I think
Yeah,
Chris Paul is a top 5 point guard all time. He wrote his own villain story with the way he acts. I think he's a amazing person outside the court, but on the court, like we see like the small dirty plays that go on a lot, and people notice it, and people pick up on that, and the disposition and stuff like that. Obviously, an amazing, talented player. Um, the whole DeAndre Aiden situation, I think, kind of boiled over with Monty. They obviously don't like each other. Like I don't know why we're acting
right.
like
He was supposed to be a
like
pacer
they.
until they matched it. So
I don't know why they did. They hate each other. Monty, you're doing all this for a team that's not doing that well. You know, Devin Booker is obviously the only carry, but and he started getting hate only because of what he said when he did that
the Luca special. Yeah,
the Lucas special thing, and then after that he just got torched. So it was just after a year he'll be fine. Obviously, Devin Booker's an amazing player. Um, and then yeah, I mean I love Cameron John. I don't even know what his entry was. That he's out for a year, but
I think it was Achilles or ACL. Was one of those two.
and Zach he's such a good player off the bench. Even in the playoffs last year, but there's only so much you could do.
Yeah, I think
And
the Suns are like 12th in the league right now.
yeah,
The Suns are 21 and 24, the 12th in the league.
they're above the Lakers. Damn.
Yep, by one game, one win, exactly one win. Okay, and then
Pain.
also, what else do we got? Okay. What one player that's been disappointed that you think it should be playing better this year than what that you've seen so far? Like one disappointment of a player or someone you think should
Um,
step it up. Let's see. Hold on. Mm-mm-mm.
I have not. You have any off the top of your head?
Um, Probably DeJounte Murray off of him getting in the feud with Paulo Banchero over the offseason with the whole wreck thing. People were expecting them to be him and Trey Young to be one of the best duos, uh, guard duos in the league. I feel like he's been inconsistent with his defense, which a lot of people thought he was a good defender. I mean, I still think he's a decent defender, but he needs to prove it. He needs to prove that more. Also, his scoring has been on and off. One day he scores 20, one day he scores 10ish. So I think he needs to be better. Also, probably someone from probably most of the Jazz players as well. Like they started off hot, like the first month or so in the season. Uh, Markkinen, I think Markkinen has been the only consistent one, but everyone else, Jordan Clarkson, etc., etc. I think if they want to be, I don't know what they're doing, if they want to tank or not. It's because everyone thought they were taking the beginning of the year, but as of right now, I think they're stuck in the middle because they think they can contend or they want to try to get Victor Wembanyama. So it's a whole confused, mixed feelings thing for me.
Yeah. Probably Rudy Gobert, but I don't like Rudy Gobert, so I'm also biased.
Hey, I mean that's not a bad choice.
He got
Like
no bag. He's trash. Well, he's not trash. He's just not. He has no offensive bag at all. Like zero. He is probably the worst offensive bag in the league as a center. It's crazy. Cannot believe it sometimes.
pretty much just throw it to the basket, see if he catches it, dunks it.
No shot, no bag, no post moves. This is ridiculous. But hey, man, go Timberwolves.
Right? Do you think they should have made that trade in the first place?
Yeah, wasting Anthony Edwards, and I don't know why. He's a generational talent.
And Cat's been out for I don't know how long. I feel like he's been out for a while now. He still hasn't came back. Yeah,
Hey,
just
man.
the floor spacing is an issue. I mean, the defensive rebounds are there, but you can't do much on offense. And also, if Rudy Gobert is on the perimeter playing defense, it's a GG. So they need to figure out what to do. I mean, they have plenty of time to figure it out because it's a long season. But hey, it is what it is. A player that's been surprising you this season so far. I mean, I have a personal favorite, someone I like to bet on personally. Mr. Tyrese Halliburton of the Indiana Pacers. Uh, Wally Serbiak on the Knicks were saying he's a fake wannabe All Star. I mean, he's what top three in assist. Uh, I think he's doing pretty good in the scoring end. He's not like a high scorer like everyone expects him to be, but he's a near double machine when given the chance. And also with Malcolm Brogdon not being on the Pacers anymore, he has plenty of opportunity to show what he's capable of. Because I feel like he didn't get that much of a shot last year because he got traded and Brogdon was on the team. So he gets to run the show. Miles Turner's play has been increasing well because of him. Buddy Hield, et cetera, et cetera. The Pacers are actually a top 6-7 seed in the East right now, thanks to Halliburton's play. So just one of the. It's also a little biased, but it's just something worth mentioning.
I'd probably say Laurie Markkinen. That man's playing out of his mind. If he doesn't get most improved player, I don't even want to see the rest of the awards. In all honesty, I mean, is anybody even close to him?
But no, most improved.
And Laurie Markkinen is just going insane. Insanity, man.
Honestly, I don't think so.
But you could say Laurie.
Bobby Portis is averaging double.
Yeah, you say Laurie, you could say Bobby, but Bobby's just been always doing this thing just low key. You could say
How do you feel about SGA?
Actually, but he's pretty much superstar. He's not there yet, but he's pretty much a superstar, right?
Right.
You give him a couple better pieces. It's just the team record that's stopping him. He's this man's a beast, man. He's like close to superstardom, man.
Right.
He's as close as you can be, at least, to not be a superstar. But yeah. And Thomas Bryant, shout out Aaron Gordon. People that were slept on for a little bit and just came out instead of doing anything. Especially Thomas Bryant. He stepped up a lot when the AD came out. Very happy for him.
Right. He had that stretch where he's like getting double-digit rebounds like almost every single game, like a good 5-6 game stretch.
I thought he'll be back. He'll be back to it next game.
Right.
But,
okay. And one last two questions. Who is your MVP right now? I know there's a lot of talk between Luka, Jokic, Tatum. It is Tatum?
Tatum.
Really?
That man's disgusting.
That's your MVP choice?
It's disgusting. Yes.
I am shocked you picked him.
Why? I love Tatum.
I didn't think you were actually gonna pick a Celtic as MVP.
I'm not a Lakers fan. I'm a Westbrook fan. I don't got no obligation. I like, for me, like, I mean, I was hoping it would be Ja because I'm a Ja fan, huge Ja fan, but it's just Tatum. What do you do? Like, it's not even enough to look at stats. You have to watch this man play the game and see how helpless people can be when he turns up. Like, right. It's not even a matter of defense. It's just when I'll never forget Lakers versus Celtics. LeBron tosses a weak ass pass to Westbrook, gets picked off, turnover. Celtics down by only 10 now.
Oh, the game at Bell when they came back?
Came back in, started wilding. Jason Tatum, somehow, I don't even know how they give up that last possession. Gave Tatum a chance to tie the game. So what the fuck he thought he was going to do? He tied the game. Easy in the corner, fucking did dribble, step back mid-range, splash. And after that, he just took over in OT. It was GG. Like, what do you do with that? Like, and you have somebody like Jaylen Brown who honestly fluctuates between damn near superstardom and what the fuck is going on. But Jaylen Brown, when he turns up,
he's averaging like 27, 28 right now.
He's one of the most athletic people in the league, and people don't talk about that enough. Like, if you look at his posterizers, his dunks, where he's jumping from, how high he jumps, how fast he moves, he's like 2 years of practicing handles to being, they'll be the best duo in the league in 2 years.
He's got all kinds of free throws. Like literally every single game, I see him missing important ass free throws for some reason.
I don't know who touches them as a duo. Like, I'm trying to think. Like, yeah, you can argue. No, I don't see who touches. I'm trying to think. Like, two people who can No, this it's people I could probably think of, but it's just they're nasty. Jason Tatum is my answer.
Kyrie and KD.
They're more skilled, but on a consistent basis, what Jason Tatum and Jalen Brown bring, especially on both sides. Yeah, I think about both sides. Yeah, I'm not thinking about just one.
Yeah, yeah.
Like the reason why KD and Kyrie in the conversation is because they're so talented offensively and makes up for anything else. And I think
Right.
KD's an underrated defender, but that's a different story for a different day.
Right.
That's
How do you feel about Jokic? Do you think he should be? A lot of people think he's the front runner just because
he's
of the
always going to be in the MVP conversation. He's just
because the
watching him
Nuggets are first
play
in line.
doesn't
So
make sense. Like him and Doncic are some of like the people you have to watch play to understand. Like Jokic is just so effortlessly throwing dimes everywhere, just like Doncic, but Jokic just they seem so slow, but it's so fluid.
like
And like
athletic guy.
all of Doncic's layups look so blockable, but they're not. Like,
It's like a
his
touch.
shot making is gorgeous. His step back threes is gorgeous. His passing is gorgeous. Like,
It's a Euro ball. I'm telling you.
but Jokic just brings so much to a team that he's worth every penny, right? He's gonna come in and he's gonna give you the 10 boards, the 15 boards. He's gonna give you the extra strength you need as a center, even though he's not the most muscular person in the world. He's gonna give you the 10 assists you need. You surround that man with shooters.
Jamal and PJ.
Game
He's
over, bro.
even Kendall Caldwell Pope shooting.
But just consistent shooters. I think they're pretty consistent, but I
I will say
think like
Murray and MPJ. Yeah, KCP sort of.
MPJ got to be stay healthy.
Aaron
Jamal
Gordon has even
Murray,
proven hit a shot here and there too.
like, yo, man.
Yeah,
Yo, the Nuggets lose Jokic, it's over. So you say goodbye for a while.
absolutely. Did you have 3 more minutes left or 8 more minutes left before you head back?
I got 8. I didn't even get to eat, so I'm just gonna put my food away.
Bet. Okay. Last one. All-Star picks. Since we're close to the All-Star weekend. So basically, if you had to choose 2 guards and 3 forwards for each conference, who would you pick? I think for us, we said we agreed on Kyrie and Donovan Mitchell for the guards for the East. How do you feel about that? Do you think that's the right
Kyrie and
choice for the
Donovan
East?
Mitchell, you said?
Yeah, that's what we agreed upon. Me, Akeem, and John
Wait.
for the guards for the East because it's 2 guards and 3 forwards/centers.
I would low-key want to pick Halliburton, but
That's what I said
that's
too. I was like, toss
I don't know.
Kyrie and put Halliburton there.
I don't think Kyrie's a starter. I think he's in the conversation, but I don't think he's a starter.
Yeah, I said Halliburton and Donovan. Personally, that's what I said.
But the West would be harder. Like, who do I pick from the West?
Oh, for the East. So we're saying Halliburton and Donovan Mitchell for the East for the guards. I
I'm
guess
trying to think. Yeah, I don't. I'm trying to think of.
because Harden was hurt.
Jalen Brown. Who's a small forward
Jalen
anyways, really? I don't even know.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. I'd
Okay.
have to look at a whole list in front of me, but yeah.
Yeah, and then the forwards is pretty hard. Forwards/center is pretty hard to pick. So you have 4 choices, but you only pick 3.
For the
Giannis.
East?
Yep, Giannis, KD, Embiid, or Tatum. Which 3 stays? Which one is out? That's pretty
Giannis is
much the
out.
that's pretty much the answers right there.
Wait.
Because only 3 of them can be a starter.
It's either Giannis or Embiid, but I'm not sure who's having a better year. The Sixers are doing better though. So I'd
I think
probably
Embiid. To be honest.
say Giannis. I believe. But either one of those two.
Yeah, I think
Tatum's
we
obviously
picked
starting.
Tatum, KD, and Embiid, I believe, or no, Tatum, KD, and Giannis, I believe. So,
Mm.
and for the West, we chose Curry and Doncic for the guards.
Curry?
Yeah, so far I think that's what we agreed as a group.
Who's the top seeds in the West?
The Nuggets is one of them. I know Pelicans are a top seed. Hold on, it is Nuggets, Grizzlies, Pelicans, Kings, Mavericks, Clippers. The Warriors are 7.
So who are your two picks again? Curry and who?
Curry and Doncic.
Curry over Ja is wild. That is wild. I'm not gonna lie to you. This year, that is wild. Only one of them is an MVP conversations. That's all I'm gonna say. That is wild.
Hey, fair enough. Hey, we all have our opinions.
I'm thinking, hey,
For the West, it was. I think it was. Who's the West? I think it was LeBron, just because it's the All Star game. Who the other ones? I think. No. Zion and someone else, and Jokic. I know Jokic was one of them. I think it was LeBron, Jokic, and Zion.
all star picks.
Yeah,
Who's Zion didn't get hurt?
Yeah, because I don't think there's anyone else. No. I mean, you can make a case for Laurie, sort of, but
Yeah.
also PG and Kawhi has been injured too much. And then Ja's a point guard, yeah. So LeBron, Jokic, and Zion. And I'm okay with that, to be honest. Okay. So, and that's pretty much our NBA talk. We're gonna wrap it up with a quick draft since Willie has to be out in like 4 or 5 minutes. So, you know what? Let's just cut. Cut some time. We'll do a Smash Brothers draft. So we're gonna do three. What do you think? 3 picks, 4 picks
That's
each.
fine. 3 picks is cool.
Okay, we'll do 3. So yeah, just pick your top 3 characters. I'll let you start since you're the since you're back.
Luigi, Captain Falcon, and Cloud.
I'll never go back and forth. Let's just go save some time because it's gonna be like I think it might be a real.
Captain Falcon.
I'm gonna go a troll pick. I'm gonna add a little fire to this draft. I'm gonna go Ness, just off of.
Fucking Ness.
I know how you feel about him.
Fucking. I'm gonna go Cloud.
Let's see. I'm gonna go Donkey Kong, just because of the power, and that's one of the few players I actually know how to play with. So
The combo character. Last pick, I'll probably go Luigi. He's a sleeper pick. I have fun.
third one, I'm gonna go Link. It's one of our good friend Hannah Lavin's favorite character with the simple combo. So I'm gonna go with that one. You have an honorable mention? Just to be a little longer.
Not too many. Shout out to Ganondorf. The 4-star killer.
I'm gonna say Little Mac, just because how powerful his punches are. So, hey, that's a venom. Okay, that was a quick little draft. It'll probably be a reel or something. I'll figure it out later down the road. Thank you for tuning into that little draft. Check out all the other videos on our YouTube, etc., etc. Let's see. Anything you want to shout out before you head out? Because obviously busy stuff like that.
Shout out mental illness. Just like what's that song called? I mean, you guys probably don't listen to Zach Fox. I don't know the reference I made. I don't actually mean shout out mental illness. It's a song called
Awareness or mental illness.
I got depression, but that's a different story. Not much to shout out. I mean, I gotta just out here grinding and working, and that's pretty much it. I'm gonna get back to work right now.
Gotcha. Well, if you won't do it, I will. Check out his TikTok. He has a YouTube, very new YouTube that just came out. All his links, Twitter, etc., Facebook, MySpace, all his links will be down below in the NBA video. Even his what's it called? Reddit page will be on there too. So hey, you might have a Reddit fan page. Who knows? Like I said, this has been our NBA talk. I think our NFL talk will be on Friday. Thank you for Walid for. I know how busy your schedule is. Thank you for making time out to talk NBA with me. Always a blast. And I'll see you next month for obvious reasons.
Yes, sir.
So with that being said, it's been Ball Central from me and Mr. Walid. Wednesdays at noon. This week we'll have 2 episodes, so make sure to tune in Friday at noon. YouTube, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Anchor. And we will see you on Friday. Deuces.